All right, hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about 888 Brickell Avenue. So this is going to be another super tall in the Miami area. This is going to be 1,049 feet. If you guys don't know, that is the current height restriction limit put by the FAA on the Miami skyline. So no one can build taller than 1,049 feet right now because of the issues with the airports being nearby and stuff like that. That's a whole nother conversation about whether they should be that low or if they should be allowed to be built taller, but that is the current limit right now. So this building was approved back in 2022 and is currently still undergoing the kind of, it's in the approved process right now, but it's still kind of waiting to start construction. It is expected to be completed though by 2027. That is kind of the plan for the completion time of this building. So this is going to be 90 stories. It's going to be a luxury condo building, about 1.2 million square feet. There's going to be 259 residential units, and there are over 100,000 square feet of amenities with this building. So this has a pretty unique design. We can take a look at a few of the renderings here. I really am a big fan of this design of the building here. So let's take a look at a few of the renderings. So here you can kind of see, the impact in these first two on the skyline, kind of how it would be looking in the skyline. It's got a pretty unique, relatively unique facade. Most of the unique stuff's more down at the base of the building. But other than that, it's a relatively regular building for the rest of the facade. So here you can kind of see a pretty good photo. It's the, some of the base in there as well. But again, this will be 1,049 feet, so it's tied for the tallest building in Miami with quite a few other buildings once it gets constructed, of course. But yeah, the Miami skyline will look pretty interesting because there's going to be a lot of super talls that are all the exact same height. There's going to be like 5-6 buildings that are all 1,000 and basically 50 feet tall. So it's going to look pretty funny, but big improvement to the skyline with that extra added height. So here you can see some, like ornamental sort of stuff they have on this building, which I think is super cool. Kind of more like those 1920s Art Deco buildings that had ornamental things on the top of the towers. If you've ever seen those in New York or any of the other like Midwest cities, it's pretty, it's a pretty good addition to these buildings. I think it brings a lot more character than just like a straight glass box or something like that. It's kind of this neo-futuristic Art Deco sort of style, which I'm a pretty big fan of, kind of like the Brickell Tower in New York. So here you can kind of see the base. It's kind of a big, like, big chunk. There's like no windows on the base. Obviously, it's probably an atrium. On the bottom there, you have some restaurants on the bottom, and then it's probably a lot of maintenance, maybe sort of stuff in there because there's no, it's not actually apartments in that area where there's no windows. Yeah. So here we can kind of look at an upshot. It's got this like, there's rock kind of facade on the bottom here of this base, which I think is a pretty cool feature. I mean, if there's some carving going into it, you can have a really cool ornamental stuff on the base of this building, which I think is just so cool. There's so many buildings that lack that these days. A lot of people always go on about how there's, no unique buildings anymore. So I think this is a pretty cool, addition to that you can have these like sort of carvings into the building, which I think is super cool for stuff like that. Here you can kind of see there are some balconies on here, of course. You got the views of the entire city, the bay, all that sort of stuff. Obviously looks fantastic. Here you have the pool, one of the amenities. I mean, it's going to be, obviously luxury condos, so it has all these sort of high-end amenities sort of things going on. But yeah, that is 888 Brickell Avenue in Miami. Going to be another 1,049-foot super tall. Obviously, that is the height limit, so they can't build over it. But yeah, this is going to be part of a, I believe, larger sort of project. There's another 750-foot tower going up with about 1,000 apartments and a hotel and some office space as well.